Hello my dear friends, welcome to Canadian Immigration Channel. From time to time, I would say at least once a week, we receive emails with the question of where to settle in Canada, what would be the best place to settle. We have this discussion over and over again in the comment section below almost every single video on YouTube. We have these questions on Facebook and so on, right? We got these questions regularly for our existing clients who are about to come, right? And they want to understand where to go and what would be the right place for them to settle together with their families. Now, let us make it a sort of a scientific approach, right? Like how to look into this matter from two different angles. First one will be the point of immigration itself. So if you're looking to immigrate, the best place and the best program for you will be the one which is working. In other words, if that is an immigration stream of Yukon, go for it, right? If that's an immigration stream of Manitoba, go for it, right? Let it be a pilot, let it be student immigration, and so on and so on. You name it, right? You legally are allowed to leave the province, territory, community, or whatever your employer who sponsored you if you are a successful landed immigrant in Canada. So it doesn't really matter whether or not, say, a province of Saskatchewan sponsored you. It doesn't really matter whether it was a rural pilot and a community of Brandon and Manitoba said that they were ready to sponsor you. So you came there, you tried to settle in the community, in the province, but you just simply don't like it, right? Month, 2 months has passed, you are not successful, you are not feeling yourself to be in the right shoes, feel free to leave. Nobody will legally challenge you or force you to stay in the community if you don't like it. As a landed immigrant in Canada, you are allowed to settle anywhere in the country you would like to. We spoke about it in our previous videos. Now, the other side of a story is quite different. Where to settle. You're immigrating together with your significant one, with your little ones, and you got this moral and probably even physical obligation to actually put food on the table, right? So you got to feed them. Well, hopefully your significant one is also ready to join labor force and start working in Canada. But regardless, right, you are about to start your new life and you have to find yourself a job, survival job as soon as possible. When it comes to survival job, it's not that difficult. I mean, you go on any single plaza, you go to McDonald's, Tim Hortons, and whatsoever, you find yourself something for this minimum job, right, minimum wage, and you're able to pay for your accommodation for the first days, right? You're ready to sustain this living, but that's not what you were looking for when you were immigrating to Canada. Now, another side of a story is finding yourself, finding your actual job, continuing your career, continuing your growth. So there are at least a couple of analytical tools I would personally recommend because I'm using them when it comes down to this question, which help me to understand which occupation will be in demand where. First one will be from StatsCan and the other one from Job Bank. Both of them will of course be published, and I will put the links in the description of the video so that you could click on it and see yourself where to go and what statistical data exists for any particular occupation in each province or territory of Canada, in each city or township, where to go, where not to go. As an example, take a soil engineer. I'm not entirely, by the way, sure what soil engineer is doing, but sometimes people are claiming that it would be good to go to Ontario, the best place to go would be British Columbia, Quebec, or whatever. The right approach would be going through this StatsCan. The right approach would be clicking on this Job Bank Analytics to find out whether or not, right, you would be making more in Ontario or Nova Scotia. What would be the cost of living in one province versus another? You may actually end up paying, for example, far less for your accommodation in Nova Scotia, but at the same time, a gallon of milk would be double of what you're paying, end up paying in Ontario. So whether or not it's worthwhile to come to Nova Scotia versus Ontario, yes or no, right? How much you will be making here or there. And again, it all depends on the statistics. And if I were you, I would start going through the statistics, would start clicking on it, right? Studying it. It will not probably take you hours and hours, right? Half an hour of your time will probably give you an idea which province has better outlook for IT specialists, for engineers, for truck drivers, and so on and so on. So you would get an idea of what would be the minimum wage for each particular occupation. So it's not like the government dictated minimum wage. It's what usually is paid minimum in the industry for this particular occupation, right? What would be the average payment, so that you will be able to negotiate with recruiters when you come in, and so on and so on. So you would have this statistical data. These are two tools which are given to you and allow you to look into the future and project it, if you will, for your landing in Canada, where exactly to go. With a soil engineer, for example, it probably makes absolutely no sense to go to Toronto. You won't probably be able to find yourself a job easily there. But if you go to Kawartas, for example, a couple hours drive from Toronto, by the way, right, there is a high projection for this occupation and high demand for it. And Job Bank says that there is a good outlook for this occupation for the next 3 years, if we look at it this way, and so on and so on. So technically, right, these tools would allow you to look into this matter and have these deep analytics for yourself and prepare yourself for landing in Canada. If you would like to discuss your own chances in details, face-to-face, how to prepare for your immigration, what should be done, and so on, feel free to send us an email, and we'll be glad to discuss it with you.